Hey, welcome back. You didn't hear the conversation we were just having. It's really weird. But welcome back. Welcome to episode 3 of Deadfire, A New Dawn.
Tier 3 Patreon to hear the conversation.
For our Patreon subscribers there, don't go and look if we've got a Patreon. You know we've not got a Patreon, right?
OnlyFans is a different matter.
I can already see you typing away. Going, oh, have they got one? We've not yet. We've not got one.
Thank you for the encouragement.
Yeah, we do appreciate that. So welcome back to episode 3 of Deadfire, A New Dawn. I am your humble dungeon master, Ben. You know that by now, I should hope so, otherwise I'm not doing a good enough job or you're not paying attention. Joining me around the table are my band of pirates, Zho-Zho's generals themselves. We've got Josh Hames. Luke Jackson.
Hello.
Lloyd Curtis. Jamie Docherty. And Captain Zho-Zho himself, my co-host of this podcast. Remember when this used to be a podcast? Things have changed. Joe Smith. In our last episode, our band of pirates boarding the vessel that they had been tracking down for the past few months went to battle with them alongside some more members of their crew and 2 very shark-looking jellyfish. Octopuses. Why do that's how I wasn't even paying attention. Octopuses.
Octopi?
Octopi? Is it octopuses? Octopi?
Or octopods.
Octopods. What's an octonaut?
A rip-off of the Go-Jetters.
TV show. I'm pretty sure that came first.
I'd rather watch Go-Jetters.
What came first? It is down in the comments now.
Bluey.
Octonaut. Bluey.
Bluey's the way to go.
Bluey's the future. I've seen every episode 15 times this week, but Bluey's the future.
It is.
Yes, and while they were on the ship where battle was going on, Typhus managed to locate a chest, a mysterious chest that he believes is holding the artifact that our crew is so desperately trying to track down. We are going to rejoin the... Are you alright?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Come on.
It's okay.
It's exciting.
He's just really excited. we love D&D here. We are going to join back right where we left off, back on the opposing ship, where our crew have rounded up the defeated people onto the sort of around a mast, sort of got, not tied to, but round the mast. And Zho-Zho and his generals are on the ship. Hand over to you guys.
So we've got the surrendered, captured combatants all tied around the mast.
Mm-hmm.
Zho-Zho is quite happy that he's happy to leave the rest of his generals as such to crack on with anything that they want to be doing. But in the meantime, he's going to be stood around these people that we've captured, and we'll say to them simply, we have no intention of killing you, and I will offer you 2 choices. You may either join us, or we will prepare a small vessel for any of you that don't want to join us, and you may leave. We will not pursue you, we will not chase you, we will not harm you. You may leave. Those are your 2 choices. I'll leave you some time to think about it.
Joe, you've made an option. Have you made it to all of them, or specifically their captain, or
To every single one that we've got,
captain's tied up with them?
everyone that we've got there.
Yep. Can you do just roll a d20 for me, please?
Just flat D20.
Just a flat d20.
That's a 5.
That is a 5. So they all sort of looked around to each other with this general murmuring. They look back and forth. They look to their captain, who's sort of dead-eyed, leaning against the mast at the back, and one by one they sort of stepped to the side and looked at him for sort of guidance. They're still a crew very loyal to their captain. And as he's sort of leaning on this thing, picking at his fingers, he's going to look up slowly and go, then prepare me a vessel. They are going to elect to leave the ship and take their chances in open water on what I assume will be quite a small dinghy. Yeah?
Yeah, it's in whatever sort of small. I'm assuming because we had some sort of small vessel that we were prepared to use.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got something.
Yeah, sort of a lifeboaty sort of thing. Yeah.
Zho-Zho will look back at the captain.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of stood, shoulders back, both hands on the hilts of his sword like that.
Yeah.
We'll just look back across at him and go, I will honour your request. We'll not untie any of them just yet, but if possible would like to order a crew member, number, whoever,
Yeah.
to just go and prepare a vessel ready.
Yeah, so they like you said, they're going to have like a bit of a lifeboat vessel, small thing. I think there's probably going to take a couple of them. There's a few of them still left. You don't think you killed many people? Killed one or two, maybe?
Yeah, one or two.
Yeah, so they're like
the
so.
officers, I think, wasn't it, that we were gunning for? And
Yeah,
the
that's it.
rest
So
dropped
like
tools.
the rest of their crew's still there. So you order a couple of your guys to prepare this vessel. They're getting that ready. Drop it in, and do you usher them over there now? Or are they being put in there now?
Is it ready for?
Yeah. So not doing every minute of the role play or anything, but as we go, like the minutes and the few sort of half an hour passes, they get the ships ready, they get the boats ready, and they're ready to go down. Do you want to do something?
So as the boat's like gone into the water, Matryn's there like, "Oh, I forgot to give you your oars," and then he just picks one up and throws it into the water and he goes, "There you."
How many attack on the oar?
Breaks his knee.
What was it?
10.
10. He doesn't break fully, but you do manage to sort of bend. You know when you go and bend a stick or something, it doesn't snap.
Just splinters halfway.
Yeah, but as you throw it down and sort of look up, and Zho-Zho is there.
So how many small boats is there?
2.
2. So while he's doing the other one, I'm at the other one,
Mm-hmm.
and as they're all
Giving out
getting,
treats.
as they're all getting to it, just handing out like the leftover snacks that I've made, like no hard feelings, no hard feelings, no hard, like swords away now,
Yeah.
no hard feelings, no hard feelings, and then I'll to every single one. Well, he's just there abusing them
And you can do me a persuasion check.
with advantage.
No, just persuasion.
Take it. That is a 15.
15's good. Yeah, they sort of begrudgingly. They're not very happy that you're kicking them off their boat, but hey, a chocolate chip muffin's a chocolate chip muffin, isn't it? Like, it's better to be stranded in a boat with food than stranded in a boat without. So they
And
take
one oar.
and one oar. Does Zho-Zho want to do anything about the one oar?
It's just gonna look
Mhm.
at Matryn. He's not gonna do anything, and we'll then. No, he's not gonna turn away. He'll just maintain eye contact
Yeah.
with him.
Okay, we're all good.
Typhus is going to tell his one subordinate, going and just point and go, keep an eye on. So they're going to stand on at the side of the ship,
Watching the other boat.
watching the other boat and watching them go off, making sure that there's no funny business.
Okay. They managed to start, like, have they got one more per boat?
Per boat.
Yeah, so they managed to get a system together where they put the boats side by side, and then like two or three of their crew members like are desperately holding onto the other boat while they try and row both. It's very slow, but they do manage to start getting away a little bit at a time. One of them gets a little bit out of sync and they start spinning, and then but they do manage to start not escaping, but getting away from you guys.
Cauld's shouting absolute encouragement.
You can do it, guys!
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've now got control of this ship.
How long's it been since combat?
Half an hour?
Okay, so
Yeah.
my little octopus people, are just, well, my sharktopus apparently.
Sharktopus.
Yeah, they're just sat in the water chilling.
They've gone back into the water.
Yeah.
No,
Sharktopus doesn't sound right.
he's bad tasting now.
Yeah.
I like it.
It just
Um,
doesn't sit there right.
Sharktopus.
I was going to say, I'm guessing Zho-Zho's at like the edge of the deck kind of thing, watching the boat go off.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up next to Zho-Zho and I'm going to say, so considering all you have to say about honour, the way you conducted yourself was not honourable. What happened?
Zho-Zho, watching off the edge of the ship, won't turn to look at Cauld. Not Chiron. Too many people.
Sorry.
Muffin.
It just sneaks into eye contact.
I was about to say, it's like that bit with Thor in that, where he just into his through.
And I've done it again, haven't I? Chiron, I hear your words and would This is not the forum for such a discussion. When we get back to our ship, feel free to come by my quarters and we can discuss this matter further.
Well, with all due respect, I want to talk about it now in front of everybody. We lost men when you should have been there fighting with us. You were the last into battle. When you were faced with the enemy captain, you retreated and told Matryn to fight him, putting Matryn at risk instead of yourself.
Still, looking over the edge of the ship, not really moving in any way, shape or form, not really fazed by the words. Zho-Zho will reply. Chiron, I appreciate we have lost men, and one of the men we lost was due to your plan. A plan I said that you would bear the burden for should anyone die. It would be wrong of me to scold you, because without your forethought and occupying and killing the enemy officer, we probably would have lost more men. However, and in doing so, and I do not believe I need to reprimand, scold or say anything further, we are very much in your debt, and I appreciate what you have to say. I have one simple question for you, Chiron. Can you feel them?
Feel who?
Every single brother we lose on our journey, have lost on our journey. I feel their eyes burrowing into the back of my head. They stand beside me, behind me, piling up, and will continue to pile up into a mountain of corpses. They look at me, they stare at me, their faces asking me one question. Captain, did my death mean something? And I will shoulder that burden so nobody else has to. The decisions I make is to make sure that I have as many less pairs of eyes staring at me than I already do.
I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, you preach honor. No matter what, you say it's above all. Yet you don't lead by example. What kind of captain does that make you? Why should we follow you if you preach this and expect this of us, who will not act that way yourself? You would rather endanger one of us, one of your inner council, before yourself.
Come marching.
I can safely say I would put my life on the line for anybody here.
At this point, Marching will be coming over because he's obviously hearing this full discussion, and he can hear obviously what Chiron's saying about the fact that the captain's being this dishonourable and like putting my life on the line. And he just comes over and he's very calm for once, and he's just like.
One day a year.
That's because she still feels bad about Luther. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
And he's just like, the captain never put me in harm's way because I was already going to go protect my captain. This guy is my leader, and I have to make sure he is always there to show me the way. So it isn't a case of he dishonourable and asked me to go into danger. It's the fact that I need to protect my captain because without him I have no way forward. He is the light at the end of the tunnel, and he will get me to our destination he has always promised me. So do not call the captain dishonourable, because to me he is the most honourable man I have ever seen, and I would lay down my life in a second for this guy.
What we're going to do is I'm going to ask Chiron and Zho-Zho to both roll persuasion. Zho-Zho will roll with advantage, having been backed up by his second in command. And then how that's going to tell us who sort of gets the upper hand, so to speak, in the discussion, and then I will leave it to you guys to role play the resolution.
We're not rolling with mods, is it just flat roll?
No, you roll with your mods. You roll with persuasion.
That's a flat roll for me then.
So you got no. You've got advantage.
You've got advantage. You want to
That's alright, I'll just do this one first.
The
That's a
most
natural
charismatic.
20 on the first one.
Roll again for the see if you double up.
Just so Luke can confirm.
Just, Lloyd doubled up on his natural 20, so it might be a thing we all do.
Then a 15.
You take a natural 20. You've got to beat a 20.
18.
18. So in the discussion between yourselves, which I think is quite heated but yet not aggressive, Zho-Zho has got the upper hand, maybe the more commanding presence. If you guys want to roleplay that as well, go for it.
Who was the last to say? It was
Matryn.
Zho-Zho will. He's not going to put a hand on Matryn, but he's sort of. I don't want to say Jedi mind trick, but almost wave his hand in that sort of motion. Past Matryn. Thank you, Matryn, for your kind words. As always, I was about to say, as always, you're the voice of reason, then remembered what I was, the man I'm talking to.
As you say that, there's like Luther's body just slumps over. Over on your own ship in the cupboard, Luther's just body just lets out a load of air.
Matryn,
It was the flies.
please, will you gather up the dead, place them near the mast of the ship, and would you please also prepare the means for a fire? And second of all, would you please point all of the enemy weapons, artillery, cannons in a way that we are ready to scuttle this ship?
Of course, Captain. At this point, I'll obviously go off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking to myself, is this the moment I try to dispose of Luther? Because in my head, I'm like, I need to get rid of this body.
Are you going to try and get rid of Luther now?
So
Jump across and jump back with it.
Are you going to try and get rid of the
I'm
body?
going to go for the attempt on this one. To try
You need to roll me 2 stealth checks. One is to get onto your ship, and the other one is to get Luther back onto the other ship successfully. You need to beat. You're carrying a dead body that everybody is.
But everyone's busy, obviously, and like I
know, but
move stuff and like get people in position.
are you commanding people to gather the dead?
Yeah.
So after commanding the people to gather the dead, you're then going to carry a body yourself.
I'm going to say that I'm going to help carry the dead to make it seem like I'm a part of this.
17 on both checks.
The first one's 8, so getting back onto my own ship.
So you're seen going back onto your own ship, and a few of your sort of subordinates, the people in your guys, sort of question. I sort of see you go over, and they're like, Matryn, are we not meant to be covering the dead up?
Yeah, I've just got captain's asked me to get some supplies from his quarters, so I'm just
Okay, now roll me deception.
Yeah, even Cauld with his 9
12.
past perception notices
What's
you.
your what's your is it charisma perception?
+1.
Yeah, they're like, all right, fair enough. Yeah, okay. So you go in, you collect this body. Now roll me a DC 17 stealth check to get back on without being seen.
10.
A 10. As you jump back over, the same guys are like, did the captain have Luther in his quarters dead?
Oh no, 100%. No, I've just gone onto our boat and like just seen him dead on the on the top of the ship. I think he must have been hit by an arrow or something, or one of them just got across. I don't know.
Roll me deception again.
The famous arrows with the fish.
I like how he said he was just dead on top of the ship. I've seen you for a
12.
Surprisingly, these guys go, well, all right, you're the boss, so if that's the situation. And I'm going to ask Zho-Zho to do a perception as well. These guys have brought you, but you're having a discussion about why Luther is dead on your shoulders.
That's 10.
Okay, you just assume it's another body. Like he beat your score, so you see him carrying a body, puts it on the pile or whatever's going on, and you're like, he's getting on with the job I've asked him to do. Nice. Before we carry on, I'm going to offer Zho-Zho an option. Now, I listened to what you said. I've got a rough idea of what you're planning to do with this ship. But I'm going to give you an option of searching the ship and stripping it for materials and then destroying it,
Mhm.
or you can add it to your fleet.
Mhm.
It is up to you which one you want.
We need to finish the roleplay between them two.
Oh, is that still going?
But obviously, Zho-Zho gave the order and Matryn went off and did his stuff.
Yeah.
As Matryn sets off to do that, I'm just gonna step, like, as I'm walking away, but I'm gonna stop just briefly behind Zho-Zho and sort of say, if I see you conduct yourself in battle that way again and endanger any of us, there will not be another opportunity after. And just walk off.
Okay. If everyone's happy with the role playing,
Let's be fighting words.
So while this has all been going on, the conversation,
Mhm.
getting the people onto the boat,
yeah,
Typhus is going to be in the captain's quarters,
yeah.
just searching for maps, logs, basically looking through the paperwork.
You can do me an investigation check.
That is a 5.
You find some unlisted and unnoted maps of some random isles. I will say a couple of them you recognise to be isles in and around the Pirate Isles that you know from more of the bigger islands that are more inhabited, more, I was going to say civilised, but let's face it, you're pirates. More of the occupied islands as opposed to like the abandoned ones. That you find? Right, the choice. You may add this ship to your fleet, or begin a fleet by adding a second ship, or you can try and strip it for materials and booty and loot and that. If you choose to add it to your fleet, and forgive me while I read off a pad of paper that I would have made my notes. If you choose this option, you will need to leave enough crew members on the ship to man the ship, and name a captain. You'll not become admiral, you'll still be Captain Zho-Zho, but they will be captain of that ship. They will sail under your colours and flag, and when you reach a port, you can do a loot check to see if the other ships have been raiding and have left items to be sold. At port, there may be money or gold waiting for you. So when you arrive in a port, which may be more hospitable to pirates, let's say, you can roll a check to see if your other ships have been doing work and been looting, which may have add to your inventory in your purse.
Okay.
If these two things, I can't see them shaking their heads
I
at each
know.
other.
Discretion is not.
I was trying to do it
Ben's
like...
got high perception,
Is
that's
it?
why it is. Passive perception.
Yeah. Entirely up to you. It will basically be a mechanic to see if you've got a reach across the ocean. A way of gaining more income, let's say. You add it to the fleet.
Start a fleet.
You're starting a fleet. So, if you remember in the last session when I think it was yourself, Luke, who did a check, we said that there's usually between 30 and 40 people that run this ship. You need to leave enough people on board to man it. How are we going to work that out? If you roll me a D20.
Cold captain.
Hey,
Cold captain, Jeff.
that's shocking. That's a 7.
Just becomes a floating bait.
What I'm going to say is, because it doesn't really matter, that's not a bad roll, you can leave 7 people to man this ship. So if you want to leave 7 members of your, I think, 45 strong crew.
I mean, could they also hire people?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they will be able to. So they will be able to. So when we do I've called it a loot check. We could, when you go there, you will roll to find out how much money they've made.
Booty.
You will check for the. I've not even done that deliberately. You'll check for booty.
But they have their harnesses on.
They've got the harnesses on, and they can fly. They can fly. I can fly. I can fly. Yeah. So you will roll to see if they've made anything, if they've added to the crew, if they've been defeated, and that's something. If you never make it to a port that you can do that, I might never come up. But you do need to name a captain though.
Ooh, so they're going to have anonymous pirate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. 6 pirates from the back just sort of drop a body and go from fucking fair enough.
The red shirts, aren't they? Like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Just out of
But anonymous
Out.
Power 6 for my only friend.
out of the game for briefly.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any witty, funny, cool, piratey kind of names we want to name the new captain?
I mean, I don't know if you want to use my new DM screen, but I can randomly roll you a name if you want.
What was the old second in command? What was he called?
Wavy Bones.
Wavy Bones. Why don't we just put Wavy Bones?
Yeah,
in?
that's-
He's dead.
Just didn't know if
The old quartermaster. He
He's
wanted
dead.
to be captain. He's not dead, is he?
Yes.
Yeah, he's dead.
Is he dead?
Yes, you killed him.
just didn't know if anybody around the table wanted to.
He died at your hands.
Weird, isn't it? Cole, hearing you try to brainstorm captains, what about your second in command? Luther.
And then I just appear and just be like, I stay by the captain's side. That's what
Did you-
it was.
But what about Luther?
Did you just
I thought Luther was second in command.
roll me a d8? Somebody has just questioned your. And we'll explain to the table in a second, but roll me a d8. What is it?
It's 2.
2's fine. You're fine. You must get rid. So people who watch other channels may have noticed where I've taken inspiration from for this mechanic. But as we just found out in episode 1, Matryn's got some anger issues. So we've developed a mechanic which
A
will
trigger.
well, that's it. Over the course of the series, Matryn will develop triggers, 2 of which he's already developed.
Christ.
Yeah. He's currently on a. What did I make? Roll d8.
D8.
He's currently on a d8. If Matryn rolls the highest number on his dice, he moves up to the next highest dice. And that keeps going up until a d20, or even further if we need to. But if Matryn rolls a natural 1 on his dice, his anger takes over, and he must then not pay a penalty, but something will happen, maybe separately on each occasion, but which will
And we said
signify.
that I'll go down a dice as
And you
well.
would then go down a dice. So the lower your his dice, and the more he gives it, his anger takes over,
Sure,
the
that
easier
makes
it will be. But on other options, if we get a chance to do downtime when ships are sailing from point to point, and Matryn wants to work on himself, he can also earn his way up dice to make the anger a little bit less.
That's cute.
So that is going to be the anger mechanic that Josh here will be working with. So already we've had another roll for it. Luckily manages to avoid the natural 1 when, unbeknownst to Cauld, because Cauld is Cauld, didn't know he was challenging Luther's authority, which is one of, not Luther's, Matryn's authority, which is one of his triggers. Yeah, I've assumed, yeah.
Yeah, he's just getting carried. I thought, well, not Luther. Luther was your second in command, unless I'm mistaken.
Flashing back.
Hmm?
Was you gonna?
No?
Oh, sorry. So I noticed Matryn earlier carrying a body, didn't I?
A body, yeah, but he beat your score, so you don't know it was Luther.
So good point, Cauld. Apart from Matryn has always been my second in command.
That's not true.
This Matryn. I can't help but feel Luther spun you a bit of a tail.
Can't see anyone doing that. We're all honest here, aren't we?
We are on. Somebody walks past and goes, "We are honest
I don't know
pirates."
why, but I feel like it's that meme. Matryn's just going past with Luther's body and is like, "What do you have there? Smoothie."
Name your captain, please.
We are going to elect, as we've said, anonymous pirates 1 through 6,
Mm-hmm.
and their new captain shall be.
Desperately tries to think of a pun for somebody's
No.
name.
We're going with Long John Copper.
Long John Copper, a man that has been on the crew for many years. He's honoured. He receives, like, I'm going to say that in preparation for this, before you took them out onto the ship, you took the captain's hat off the other guy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in Black Flag when you take it, he just puts a hat on him. And you put this hat on him, everyone cheers and everyone gets excited, and you give him the ship. This does mean you need to get rid of the dead. I'm guessing they're just chucked overboard.
The
Yeah, in an
original.
honourable fashion.
Oh, I didn't mean like, yeah, just took it.
I thought it was the on-ship morgue. I thought we were doing that.
Oh shit.
I will just check if there is an on-ship morgue. There's not. There's a room that there was some dead people in once.
I mean, it doesn't every room.
Well, that's
Sometimes
eerie.
the kitchen.
Long John Copper takes control of this ship. He will now sail under your flag, sail under your colours, and when you arrive at port, you will have to check how well he is doing. You-
Sorry, carry on.
No, you can't.
Did you give Cole any specific orders, or was he just general helping do the thing?
Cauld, as far as I was aware, was just giving out muffins and living
Yeah,
in
but
the
after the ship went, obviously, he's going to have to do other things. Because he was about to start a fire to burn the ship down until you guys went. No, we're.
Whoa! Whoa!
It's just like making bonfires
I've
around.
had a think.
Wrap all this up.
Can we all just
Zho-Zho's
stamp them
like,
out?
I'm gonna keep this shit, and then Matryn's there, and over here's like, have you told Cauld that? Cauld's just there, like in a corner, just making
I'm
fire.
now panicking because I'm like, oh shit, Luther's body.
Bonfire.
Let's wrap it up.
What are you doing with the bodies? Are you just going to ceremony?
Originally, it was going to be
Yeah.
cremation on the ship as the ship went down,
Yeah.
leaving them to rest at sea. So instead, it will be ensuring that they are. Is there any sort of linen, cloth, or anything that we can wrap them in?
Yeah. It was carrying.
I mean, we could just go mafia style and tie rocks to their legs and just dump them off.
Where are you getting rocks from? On this ship in the middle of an ocean?
Cannibals, yeah, cannibals.
They cannibals is fair enough. Yeah, there's some linen. They were carrying a bit of cargo, nothing major, but there is some linen.
So I'd like, because I don't think we've got actually that many dead, did we? We had a couple.
They had a couple. You had a couple. So
Yeah,
we're talking 5 or
so
6.
they'll all get.
Oh, there's Luther as
And
well.
there's Luther as well.
Who's doing it?
I mean, one's a bit of a sludgy mess, remember, after I
Oh.
corroded him.
I like to do some myself,
Yeah.
alongside anyone else that wants to partake in it.
I will
That's-
partake as well.
Whether that's any of these guys or
You
anonymous
can, but you're not
clients.
going to roll because you know he's there. Anyone that is helping get rid of bodies,
You're just a slut for drama, aren't you?
He loves it.
roll perception.
Me?
Anyone that's helping to get rid of a body.
Just to
Oh,
help.
I'm not helping.
Sure, why not?
It's a bit too dark for.
Yeah.
But as this is happening, he's after this conversation, he's walking across the ship, right? Why would he lie to me?
Rolls?
I'm gonna roll.
Yeah, only a 19.
19,
30-20.
dirty 20,
10.
10. As you're doing this and like you get the first people ready, I'm assuming you sort of, in the same way that you got rid of the old captain, sort of bit respectfully, wrap them up. You get 3 people in and look down and Luther is staring up at you as a dead body. You didn't realise Luther was dead. You didn't realise he was on that ship. But you've realised Luther is now somebody's trying to get rid of his body.
Who done it?
What,
with
is
the
that all 3 of us or
candlestick.
just us 2?
You two, you're sort of busy with one of the bodies and don't notice the body that Luther is there.
I look at Zho-Zho and go and just say, I will follow your lead, Captain.
Zho-Zho will not visibly disturbed. He's going to carry on wrapping Luther up.
Mm-hmm.
He's dead.
Mm-hmm.
No point in worrying about him. He's dead.
That's where Matryn runs over and clubs him. Like, it's over.
Somebody's going to need to tell Cauld.
I'm going to ask Typhus when you have finished preparing that body, would you ask Cauld to come and speak to me?
Of course, Captain. Of course.
Yeah, so you guys finish off doing the rest of the bodies, put them and then ceremoniously put them overboard into the sea to say a few words in your from your belief system to sort of wish them well on their journey, and they go ahead.
I'm going to, after doing that, I'm going to go via the ship's kitchen to see if I can find anything in there that I would know be of interest to Cauld.
An investigate check for me.
Of course. That is a 15.
Yeah, you find some more spices that he's got. There's a few unnamed wrapped meats, but nothing. There's not loads. You're very aware that you need to leave some ingredients and that for the ship.
Just a few, like
Odds and ends. Yeah.
I'm going to take them.
Mhm.
Then I'm going to go find Cauld.
Okay. Go find Cauld.
He's just walking around.
Yeah. So I go to Cauld, go. Just been into the kitchen. They've got a few extra bits. So
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm going to take. Oh, and the captain's looking for you. He's got some news for you. And I look quite sombre, not knowing full well that Cauld's not going to be able to notice that.
I very nearly made you roll inside, and I was like, "There's no point."
but just looking a bit sombre, just going, "Oh, the captain needs a quick word with you," and then just gently taps him on the shoulder in sympathy, knowing it's not being put. That Cauld might not understand what's going on, but the sympathy's there.
Mm-hmm. Do you head off to the captain?
Yeah, like John, like happily, like, oh yeah, sure, whatever he needs, he's my captain, I'll go speak to him.
Are you back on board your own ship? Sort of.
Are we all sort of, yeah? We're back
Yeah,
on
we'll head
board?
over.
Time skipping, are we?
Well, it's only up and over.
Oh,
So you can on the way back. Like you go to find him now. He's
We'll
already.
talk mid-hop.
Yeah. So basically.
Your captain, you wanted to speak to me, Mr. Zho-Zho, Captain Sir?
Yes, Cauld, you mentioned Luther to me earlier, and
Great guy.
yeah,
Great guy. Really enjoyed his company. Really liked my cooking, which was really nice.
why don't you follow me into my quarters and we'll put up a chair? That's why it doesn't work.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Not.
No, not that. But
Put up a chair back from the council table that you guys normally sit at. It's your regular chair. Zho-Zho will put it back as he walks past it as a gesture of saying, trying to sit in your chair.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Can I offer you a drink? Cauld.
Oh, you know, just a bit of water. I'll have some water, please.
I'll go turn the taps on. In fact, we've got some. I'm assuming.
yeah, you got barrels of water.
There's a sea, Cauld.
I made a fire.
Pours you a cup of water and puts it down in front of you. Zho-Zho pulls his chair back, sits in his own chair. I couldn't help but notice you mentioned Luther earlier, and
Great guy.
it pains me to have to inform you. I found him amongst the dead on the ship, on the enemy ship.
What?
And I was hoping you might be able to shed some light on his situation.
No, it wasn't him. Because I saw him sleeping outside the kitchen earlier.
And
So why would he join? It can't be him, because
why was he sleeping outside the kitchen?
you know.
Had you spoken to anyone else after he'd been to have some food with you?
Where are you?
I'm like back on our ship. Like, I'm just
At the
shitting on-
fucking door!
That's what I'm wondering. Is he outside? Are you outside the
I'm
door?
like trying to stay in the area, trying to hear bits. But, like if Zho-Zho came out, like he wouldn't see me straight away. Kind of like I'm trying to.
But it just hits with the door.
maneuver.
I'm just mopping!
No, as those
Are you physically trying to hide?
Down,
I'm like
Just
near
using
the area,
using Luther's head as a sponge and a head.
so,
Are you trying to
they're obviously in
hide?
Captain quarters,
Yeah.
So like I'm around that area to try and hear bits, but like I don't want it. So if like they came out, they would see me straight away.
So
it
if
doesn't
say
look
they were
like-
to come out, do you want them to look like you're working?
yeah. So
Right, so you're not trying to hide. You're just trying
stood
to.
at the mats like this.
But do me perception to see if you can hear what they're talking about.
So they're scrubbing it all.
that's not good.
He's
That's
screwing
not
anything.
good.
not even a sponge.
That's 6.
It's
Six.
like clipping through.
You can hear muffled voices through the door, but you don't know this. But you don't know what they're talking about. Sorry, carry on.
No, I don't know what he did. I know he spoke to you about his dietary requirements and the crew's dietary requirements, and we decided to make a shopping list for the crew. And then that's the last I heard. I think I heard him talking to apparently the new second in command. I always assumed it was Luther. Because Luther told me that he was second in command. So why would he lie?
You're perfectly correct, Cauld. He was a good man. And I hate to have to ask you such a thing after the battle we've been through and having this news delivered, but I do believe the rest of us that are on this ship deserve a reward for what we've been through. Could I trouble you to knock up a feast of the highest caliber, which everything you make is?
Yeah, just double check that it was Luther, because I don't believe that.
I will ensure that it was.
He must have had like a doppelganger on the ship.
They say there's always one person out there that looks like you, don't they? So I will.
I mean, yeah, that's what they say. Maybe before this, maybe there would have been someone else that looked like me, but can I be excused?
Of course.
is going to gingerly get up and leave the quarters and search for Luther on the ship.
I want to say do a check, but okay, do you give me an investigation check? See if you can find Luther.
19.
So you make this mission.
I've not left our ship though. I just want to put that out.
Yeah,
Find
yeah,
a
yeah.
bit of Luther.
You go around the ship, and like every now and again, you sort of go around a corner, and you see, as you round the corner, you see someone else round the other corner at the end of the corridor, and you think, oh, there he is.
Luther!
And then when you get there, it's like another member of the crew that's not Luther. And you're like, oh, like, sorry, I thought
Sorry,
you were.
Stefan.
Yeah, and that goes.
Have you seen Luther anywhere?
Yeah, you're asking people that are like, no, well, I'm pretty sure the captain was meant to speak to you, and like.
No, it's
So
just,
you're-
it's just a misunderstanding.
So you're quite thorough,
yeah,
but he's
it's a
not.
misunderstanding.
He's not on the
He's
ship, and
somewhere.
you can't find him anywhere.
He must be working at the ship.
But as you sort of resign to the fact that he's not there, or that you can't find him, he's obviously he's looking for you, and you keep missing each other.
That's definitely what's happening.
Yeah. So you head back to the kitchen, and as you get back to the kitchen, just at the bottom of the stairs before you back to your door, just next to the kitchen on the floor is Matryn's mask
And a cupcake.
and a cupcake that you left there.
Oh, that's weird. I'm just gonna leave him.
Just gonna leave him. You head into your kitchen, start start preparing the feast.
Like, oh,
Does anybody else want to do anything before we move to feast and evening?
Just a small note, Typhus is going to take all the documents that he took from the other ship
Yes.
and sort them into his, I want to say personal collection, but the collection he has on the ship.
Yeah, your catalogue of
Yeah.
maps and locations and stuff. When you do that, what you saw earlier, where you thought, oh, that's such and such an island, you can confirm that because you've got a very similar map, similar sizes. You can now put names to the islands a little bit.
As well as he's going to put the chest in the captain's quarters.
Yes.
In the middle of the table, now that he knows that it's not in use for talking to Cauld.
Yes. Yeah.
As Cauld was going around the ship and everything, because I obviously see him leave the captain's
You know when he
quarters.
starts talking, you know this is going to be good, don't you?
I see him leave the captain's quarters. I'm like, I'll just follow to see where he's going, see if I can get some information from him. So I start to follow him, and I notice he starts to head towards the kitchen.
Do me a stealth check if you try not to be seen by him.
12.
you've got to beat a 9. Okay.
Yeah, so again, he's not going to see you. But also give me perception as you're following around to see if you see anything that he doesn't.
15.
15. As he goes into the kitchen, you see your mask on the floor next to a cupcake.
But yeah, so as he was going around the ship trying to find Luther, I was literally kind of going around following him, because at first I was just like, I'll see where he's going after his meeting with the captain, so I was wondering what was happening. And then obviously I see him kind of start to head towards the kitchen, but then go off and start looking around this whole ship. I'm like, oh shit, I need to follow this guy. I need to make sure what he's doing. Could this be the end of my will? Kind of.
Even though you know Luther's not on the ship.
I know, but I want to see what Cauld's actually doing and
Okay.
seeing who he's talking to after his meeting with the captain.
So you pick up on him asking about Luther, seeing if everyone can find him. You quickly put two and two together and realise that he's in a bit of denial, or is very oblivious to the situation and fully believes that Luther might still be on the ship somewhere.
Yeah, Sherlock Cauld.
Sherlock Cauld. Anyone else would like to do anything before we move on? No?
Yeah.
So we're going to jump forward now to a bit later in that evening. Cauld's been at work all afternoon putting this feast together. Dara's been there chucking bits in left, right and centre. This food seems... can you do me a... Do we call it performance? Do me a performance check to see how
He
good it is?
isn't as cheery as normal. I just want to point that out.
What I say is then that Cauld can't give you advantage. I won't make you roll with disadvantage, but you
What?
can't...
Dara, you mean?
What did I say?
Cauld.
Yeah, Dara can't give you advantage.
Calm down, we can do this. It's not bad. That is a 17.
17's pretty good. You managed to pull as you're working, you're like a bit down, like you say, a little bit less chipper, a little bit wary, and you sort of think to yourself, well, this isn't my best work. But the guys that are going to sit down and eat it, they won't know that. They think Cauld just pulled out. He's obviously used the ingredients that Typhus managed to find, put them to good use. Bit of different meats rather than just a salted pork as usual.
Yeah, different meats. It's just
You've got like some salted beef and some.
it's just more salt.
It's just more salt.
I've used,
One bit of venison is a bit off.
I've used I've used water from. I had cookies about. We have a cookie.
No, we're really role playing.
Yeah. Oh no, go for it. I'm all for it.
He's adding water from the sea.
Yeah, it's just like it is. For anyone else that tastes it, it is the saltiest food in the world. But these guys haven't eaten anything else for the past 3 or 4 months while they've
I
been at
would
sea.
like him to not have a salty cooking reputation.
When we get some more ingredients, that might change. But at the minute, you're working with various unnamed meats and salt, so that's all right. So you.
The crew is 90% sodium at this point.
Yeah.
Was there any veggies or fruits or anything on this cargo haul?
What did you roll on your check for?
For that one, 15.
15. There's a couple of bits of.
He will chuck in some exotic, like avocados and.
Yeah, you've got salted beef and avocado for tea, lads. But
I've had worse.
you guys all sit down. I'm assuming you eat around with the crew or at the war table.
No, we eat with the crew.
Eat with the crew, so you've got these big long mess halls in Cauld's sort of Cauld's kitchen. There's ale, not ale. There's rum flowing. People are having a good time. It's a good night. Towards the end of the night, Zho-Zho stands up and sort of looks around to his 4 generals, and that means meeting upstairs. And you call your crew back to this isn't a crew council, but it's time to talk about what we have found on that ship. And as you all walk into the room, Zho-Zho's been there a couple of minutes before you. The chest placed in the middle is.
Just, I'd like to stress that Zho-Zho's not in his armour anymore.
No.
So when people put their armour up on display, there's normally like those mannequin bodies that you put all the armour on.
Like an armour stand sort of thing, yeah.
It's all on that, and he's in sort of almost like typical piratey kind of gear, the leathers and that sort of stuff. But then over it, he does wear a sort of quite not ornate but smooth looking, like kimono-y type.
Yeah.
Thing over the top.
Kimono.
Simply, Cauld is not in his armour, and he's not in his what's the word? Apron either.
Yeah,
He's just in one them billowy black cotton shirts, but it's still cropped up.
Yeah. So you guys head up to the war room.
Not abbed up, but there's like definite cum gutters.
Yeah.
Like
there is an ab.
And just for my own personal curiosity, does Cauld own anything other than a crop top?
No.
Perfect.
So
Okay. All crop tops. Crop tops or nothing. Ask her and take shit. So as you get into the
No
room,
crop tops.
not a crop top.
It's easy access.
Yes.
For swords.
Swords. As you get into the room, then you all take your seats around it. Zho-Zho, as you say, out of his armour, stands everyone and would like to know, not to put words in your mouth, Joe, but would like to know what we found on the ship. Anybody?
That was all at once.
Nothing. We found
I found Luther.
Typhus will give a short account of how
Yep.
when he stepped aboard the ship, he heard some music which he hasn't heard in years, and just basically say how when he first heard the music as a child, and how he heard it again, and that's what sort of drew him towards knowing that this item was on the ship, and also going through how he saw it through the captain's mind, where it was located, and how it ended up here. And then he's just going to go, and before we open it, I also found, and just gave a brief catalogue of what he found, document-wise, in case any of it rang a bell for anybody for whatever reason.
Again, the rest of the guys there. You're the maps guy.
It's all the other documents. And
There wasn't many. You didn't find many. It was mostly maps. There was 1 or 2 sort of inventories of what they had on stock in terms of their cargo. But you guys looked for that. You found that, and you left the guys in charge of the other ship. That other ship is after the feast. It's sort of you're feasted together. They left 1 or 2 people to watch it, and that has gone off on its way to do your bidding, to sail under your flag, earn you some money. As you all look at the chest, you see again it's very similar to the cabinet that obviously Typhus saw as a child, but not everybody else has seen. But in the room is very dull for in the evening. It's got candlelight and lanterns around the room, as we know, but it's still quite vibrant. It's still quite a I don't know what the word is. What am I thinking of? Like it's not dull and dark. It's quite lively, and there's stuff going like.
It's slightly brighter wherever Cauld is.
Yes,
There's
that's
an
it.
energy.
No.
There's a different kind of energy.
And the actual lights are brighter
Yeah.
where he is.
Yeah, okay. But you know how like when you're in a nightclub, it's very dark.
yeah,
There's a
but
lot
there's-
going on.
There's reasons.
Yes. But it's like that. But this chest on the table stands out differently. It's not lighter. It's not brighter. It's not massively different. But it seems to stand out in some form of magical way. I'm right in thinking you opened it previously,
Yes.
and there was nothing in it.
Yes.
Yes, it was empty, or it appeared to be empty.
Yes.
Would anybody like to do anything, or investigate, or look, or discuss the chest to see if we can figure out what's going on?
Can I just turn? Oh,
You go. Mum's silly anyway.
that was mine.
Sure.
Can I go up to the chest and do? Is it Arcana?
I was just gonna say like.
Are we in a short rest by this point?
You can have short rested by now.
Like, I'm just gonna say, like, I'm looking at this box and be like, is this what we fought for? Like, we've just done this whole massive box. I know we've got a ship and everything, but it's like, we've just fought for a box. Which
Like,
is empty,
do we know there's some magic on it, or, like, is it been confirmed, or at all?
Typhus was drawn to this through magical means, yes?
Am I still hearing the music?
No, the music was only when you were looking for it. It was more of it's like a constant thing. It was more of a thing drawing you to it, and now it's in your possession. The assumption around the table is that this is a magical box of some description.
Yeah, can I just do a straight Arcana check?
You can do an Arcana.
16.
On a 16 Arcana, you can reinforce the fact that this is a magical item. It's also a very, very enchanted magical item. You get the sense that when you open that chest, what you see may not be what is there. And you flash back for an instant to the cabinet you saw as a child that when you first opened it had an endless void inside it. Anyone else?
Can I try reopening it again now?
Yeah, go for it. You open it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing in it.
That's fine. I've just seen with a different scenario.
No, like you open it. Your understanding of the item is that these enchantments are there to hide, or to protect it and to hide something. What I will say is,
Just quick question. Are you going to tell us this? Because I'll be stood there with you.
Oh yeah, everything that I've done, I've
So
narrated and
So, can I try and cast Dispel Magic at a 3rd level on it?
you can try and cast the spell magic on a 3rd level on it.
It will be DC 10 plus whatever the enchantment level is
Okay, roll.
that I have to beat.
Okay, roll.
you're going to get that 20, it's going to be fun.
22.
22 is a very good roll. Let me just check a bit of paper I wrote on earlier.
It failed.
Let me scribble out the number I had earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a DC 15, that's a DC 115. What did you roll? 22?
Yeah.
So, what Dispel Magic you're doing?
Mhm.
So as you do a Dispel Magic on a 22, you see the light that's sort of emanating it from the chest, suggesting its magic, starts changing, and it starts flashing different colours for a minute, and then it settles on like a yellow, which fades into an orange, which then burns into a red, which then disappears. It's just a regular chest, and then slowly that original state of magic reappears, and it's back in its normal state.
Can I now at this point be like, because I've not really been interacting with this box or anything like that, I've just been kind of sat at my chair watching all these guys doing it, just be like, you guys are just doing this wrong. Just walk up to it, rip it open, go and like open it and be like, this is how you do it, and then it just be empty still inside. Like, I'm just like, you guys are just doing it all wrong. And
Doing it aggressively?
yeah.
Roll to attack, roll to hit it.
Guess where I'm also
As you step forward angrily, rip open this top. It's heavier than you realise, but you manage to pull it at an angle. That red light flashes again for a second. You're cast back and you take 2 points of damage. As you stagger back, so something sort of a magical force explodes in your face.
Cauld will look at it and not. It's not that bright, but it's not stupid. But he just has got this weird sensation in the back of his head. So he just walks over to the box and opens it and goes to put his hand in.
As you tentatively put your hand into this box, this dark box that you can't really see a bottom to, you put your hand in slowly and feel the bottom of the box.
Fireball.
No, it's like, oh, I really thought that would work.
Anyone that wants to can give me investigation.
Investigation.
I'm done. After I've forcefully tried to revive them, I've just got to sit back and just
I really thought it would be like a TARDIS situation.
14.
9.
Oh my god.
Anyone else want to do? Do you want to do?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I've given up with this box because it's forcefully hurt me. I just want to stay away from it now.
19.
Oh, 20.
On a 19 investigation, right, what did you get? 16?
14.
14. On a 14, you look at this box again and you look around it and you're trying to rack your brain for like, what am I missing? It's almost one of them situations where you're like, there's something here. There's going to be a piece of information that just switches a switch and it's all these enchantments, all this protection is going to fall away. You can't quite put your finger on it. Chiron steps forward and has a look at it, and he has the same sort of thing, but he's sort of a little bit further away. You're not really sure what's going on. You're not really sure what you need to do. Cauld, you look at it. You've put your hand in it.
Yeah, this is why I've got my hand in it.
Yeah, you put your hand in it. You do an investigation check, and you realise something. Not necessarily about the chest, but the reason this was investigation is because it's quite, like you say, you're not stupid. You're not the brightest, but you're not stupid. But out of all of these intelligent, bloodthirsty pirates at the table, no one suggested it yet. But as you put your hand in it and you sort of think, what can I do to help? You go, maybe we need to ask somebody else for help. And it occurs to you that maybe somebody else that we know or know of might be better, might be more equipped to sort out what's going on with this chest. Zho-Zho.
Cauld said that out loud.
Yeah. Well, that's what you've realised. If you want to tell the crew that, then
We've realised it's Luther.
I'll tell you for free. It's not Luther.
As it's going, looking at it, it's like, put his hand in, it's like, we might have to ask for help. I can't think of anyone else on the ship who could.
Zho-Zho sat watching all of his generals
Piss about.
try and do their best
Yeah.
to ascertain the origins, the meaning, the purpose behind this box. Sat in his chair, will say, everybody stop, get a good night's rest, and we plan a course for Rockcliffe.
What I will say is, as Cauld relays to the group about we might need help, all of you around the table, your minds fall on a certain person. This person is not a member of your crew. This person is not somebody that you are necessarily friends with. For three of you, it's somebody that some of you've never met. Only Chiron and Zho-Zho have previously met this person, which will be made clear. And the name of Carver LaRue all fills your head at the same time as you realise you're going to need to go back to, like Zho-Zho says, back to Rockcliffe and ask for help from the weird Kenku guy that lives in a tree north of Rockcliffe.
Chiron, Matryn, I'll ask you to stay with me. Everyone else is ready to go and get a good night's rest.
Anything from anyone before you leave?
Typhus is going to, on captain's dismissal, is going to head to his room,
Mm-hmm.
plot a course from the location to that and then go tell the helmsman which way.
Yeah, so you're going to travel through the night. I'm guessing you're going to tell the crew to get it done.
Yeah, I'm going to instruct the crew, and then I'm going to retire to my.
Yeah.
I'm assuming study.
Yeah, you've got your own room on account of being the intelligent one at the table. Do you know what I mean? The brains.
Excuse me.
Do I sleep
Cauld?
in the kitchen?
Would you like your own room?
Well, I don't know. Do I like have some adjacent?
Yeah, you've got like an ensuite bedroom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, you sleep in the fire pit.
I'm not immune to fire. I wish.
Yeah.
Be arranged.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, he's just gonna stand up and go, "Good night," and just leave. And then he's gonna, walk into the kitchen and walk into the bedroom, for lack of a better term, which is just like a cot bed.
Cot bed.
Yeah. Like you're a refugee or something, just like somewhere just in the corner, and he's gonna turn on all the lights on as bright as they can go. I think Dara's gonna snuggle up on the pillow and he's gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, cool. You've asked these two to stay. Okay.
Those two remaining where they are, Zho-Zho staying where he is. I will ask this question on the basis of honesty. Does anyone here know what happened to Luther?
Who's in the room?
It's
Chiron
just
and
three,
Matryn.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
I have no clue. I think I saw him briefly as I went into the kitchen earlier,
I don't even know who he is.
and I went to fetch Cauld, but that's all I've seen of him. I did not see him since.
Matryn?
So, Matryn's obviously gone back to his table after he's been thrown back from this box, and he's taken a swig of his drink. And then when the captain said that, like, he's kind of, like where you hold the drink there, but you're not actually drinking it, and he's just waiting. And obviously, Chiron said his bit, goes to put his drink on the table. He goes, "Captain, I did see Luther. He was in the kitchen talking to Cauld, and he had said that he was the second in command. And at that time, the rage just overtook, and I stood outside with him of the kitchen, away from earshot from Cauld, away from everyone, and we did have a minor disagreement."
Roll me deception against insight, I believe. Yeah.
I wasn't doing it as a deceptive thing.
You had lied to his face and told you had a
So
minor
what I'm doing my
insight check.
Minor disagreement.
I'm doing insight check.
Insight. What's yours?
Natural 20!
Mine would be a dirty 24.
What was your
21, but natural 20.
No crits given. A 24 beats 21. You are very aware that Matryn isn't being quite honest with you.
I continued the story as
Mhm.
I've said, like, we had the minor disagreement, and there was some blows thrown between us. Well, when I say between us, I mean more me throwing blows towards Luther. And when I did leave, it has become a bit of a blur, but when I did leave, he was slumped on the stairs, but he was groaning and making a few noises. So I believed he was just a bit hurt from the blows being thrown back and forth. He tried to throw a couple, but they just kind of bounced off.
So Matryn is telling you the truth, but in a very twisted.
Yeah.
We all
Trying
know.
to play it down.
We all know here there was nothing thrown back.
It's a minor disagreement, like Poland or Germany.
So he has told you the truth, but he has bent it. You've sailed with Matryn for years. You know when he's not being straight with you.
Okay.
And the last I saw of him, he was on them steps.
So you committed manslaughter because somebody lied.
I just saw Red Captain. He questioned my authority on this ship, and he lied to one of your generals and to me. I just saw the red mist, it just descended on me. He was questioning me, he was questioning my position, and I took that up as a challenge of my position.
Chiron. Although we may have not have seen eyes to eye over the past few hours, I wanted to make sure he was here to aid me in my thought process. Listening to Matryn and what he has to say, we can devise, we can deduce that Matryn was more than likely the cause of death of Luther. I ask you, Chiron, to help me devise a suitable reprimand for our brother Matryn.
We hear that telepathically.
Yeah. Throughout the ship, you can almost hear the ship itself going. Like a heartbeat. The Dutchman must have a captain.
Before I respond, I'm going to just sort of prepare myself to wild shape,
Okay.
just in case things go sideways.
Okay.
Hearing what Matryn has just said, I can wholeheartedly say just because somebody said something is not cause enough to kill them, especially one of our own crew, the very men we should be fighting for and fighting to protect. So I do believe Matryn should pay with his life, but I am not unreasonable in the sense of giving him the opportunity to fight for it. Whether that be against you yourself as a captain, or we send him on a mission.
Matryn.
Captain.
Hearing the words of Chiron, I have deduced your indiscretion between you and Luther can be forgiven. There are two prerequisites. I had to deliver the news of Luther's death to Cauld. Not the Cauld you see on the battlefield, but the Cauld that makes your meals. The Cauld that looks after you when you need him. The Cauld who looks after his pet. The Cauld who makes sure you're happy. The first prerequisite is you look after him.
I will guard him as if it was yourself.
When he asks about Luther, when he needs help, when he is at his lowest, you are there for him.
Understood, Captain.
The second, and I know this will come without any argument, because I probably could have done this before. Should the moment arise where we need someone to do something that nobody else dare do, it will fall on your shoulders. I can't say when, I can't say how, I can't say who it will involve. But should a moment arise that we need a warrior, you will be the one that takes up the mission. You will be the one that plans it, leads it, and fights until you can't breathe anymore. And that is up to me to decide when that moment is. Those are the two prerequisites to forgive this incident.
I will lay down my life for yourself, as you know, Captain.
Chiron, do you feel this is fair?
Yes, I think it's fitting that, for all intents and purposes, he is now disposable. Just as he saw his fellow crew member was just as disposable.
Roll your d8.
7.
Yeah, you're good. You're fine. You managed to keep a lid on it. Not directly challenging your authority, but the indication and implication that you are disposable would mean that you are not worthy of that. So you managed to keep a lid on it. You convince yourself that it is fine. You are.
We are going to fight. We're not fighting my quarter.
Take it outside. I just have drapes on boys.
I was going to say, how close is my course?
You are.
This is crashing and banging. Oh God!
I think the reason you were able to keep a lid on it is because you know you did wrong, right? Your rage obviously took. While you didn't want to kill him, what happened? His death was because of you, and you were aware of that.
Also, because like obviously it's the captain speaking right now. If it was anyone else, I think it would be harder for.
I cannot wait for the day you roll a natural 1 on Zho-Zho.
No, but like you know what I mean. Like Matryn is.
Yeah, you've got a lot of respect for him.
Anyone except from the captain is same level or below, whereas this captain is like, as he said earlier on, is this light and the one that's leading him on this path to this destination that he's been promised. So like. He will do as the captain says, without question or without honour.
You heard me fast.
Anything else that evening?
No, they're both dismissed.
Okay, so as I'm guessing you all go back to your. Obviously, you two already have. You go back to your own stations. You've got quite a high-ranking sort of room in there as the leader, as the second in command. You don't have such a bad place yourself. You are the leader of a branch of this crew. And a very important one. I think it's fair to say that all the generals have got like their own private sleeping quarters, whereas the members of the foot soldiers, so to speak, sleep together in a big hammocks and beds and stuff. What can you say?
As both me and Chiron leave together, I'm just going to turn around to him and say, I am not disposable. I am a key cog in this system. I understand I did wrong, and the mist should not have descended as it did, and I am forever forgiving for the situation. However, I am not a disposable piece. I understand I shouldn't have done that to Luther, but he is replaceable. On this ship, I am a key part, and you just need to remember that we are a team, and us as generals are a band of closer brothers than everyone else on this ship. So do not call me disposable, otherwise that is calling yourself disposable at the same time.
I'll slightly turn, like not fully facing you, sort of half dismissively saying, at the end of the day, from what you've just said, you place us above the rest of the crew. I see us all as equals. And you saw fit to kill one of our own due to a little tantrum. So for all intents and purposes, yes, you are disposable, as are all of us. We will all die on our missions. But as far as I'm concerned, you're going to be the first one put on the block if it comes to it. And I'm just going to walk off.
And I'll go, and I'll happily rest my head there, if need be today.
I'll say at that, you both go your separate ways.